population as well. And with where you have a young population who's very tech savvy, it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to get on board onto the new technological revolution that's currently taking place. And occasionally share some of my knowledge in the community and various communities. But my heart is in trying to improve things in Africa and help people to see the potential of how they can use their existing skills and how their existing skills can be transferable over to the blockchain itself. I've put a little presentation together. If you could help me share that, brother, and then I'll quickly glance over that and just show you some of the things that I'm doing. If you allow me to share, actually, if you allow me to share, then I should be able to, shouldn't have any problems with that. All right, let me go to.
I just did. You can try and see if you can share your screen. Welcome.
Wait 1 second. I'm just gonna blank out my camera so I can make sure I'm on the right page. Can you guys let me know if you can see that screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Let me put it to full mode. So a lot of people get confused with what crypto is and what the key fundamentals that we need to understand is that if crypto went away, the blockchain would still be here because the blockchain is what makes crypto. And cryptocurrencies, NFTs, miners, everything else is built on the blockchain. And the blockchain technology has actually been around a lot longer than crypto itself. And it's an opportunity, like I said, for Africa as a whole, especially Gambia, because Africa is one of the pioneers. It doesn't get promoted as one of the pioneers. There's a lot of things that happen. We get shadowed out of things, but we are one of the pioneers and we've shown some of the benefits in it as well, especially in the east and west side of Africa. They've fully adopted the potential to what crypto can do and how they can develop on a blockchain. So basically what the blockchain is just it's a piece of technology where we have multiple. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible because I know we've got a mixed audience of people with different experience in this space. Some are literally just starting, some have been in it for many years. And what the blockchain is technology that is not controlled by one specific entity. It's multiple people. If we say, for example, everyone in Banjul with a mobile phone had to approve a transaction, and that transaction cannot be approved unless everybody who is within that collective in Banjul had to confirm that. My brother was sending me 10 Dalasi, and I'm going to be receiving 10 Dalasi, and everyone confirms yes, he has 10 Dalasi to even send, and I have 10 Dalasi to receive, and we've sent it on a network. So the blockchain is a centralized computer network of people who are working in harmony, and that harmony can't be broken because you would have to break multiple people. So if we've got multiple people in Banjul that have to agree transaction, there's no other way that transaction can go through until everyone agrees. And this is done instantly, and literally in a matter of seconds. So where you have that lightning speed technology that's not controlled by any individual, it's clearly transparent. And when I mean transparent, everyone in Banjul that just agreed that transaction can see on their phone that transaction being completed. And they can see that I've received 10 Dalasi and I've just sent on 10 Dalasi. And that 10 Dalasi can be followed for in its entirety forever. So that 10 Dalasi that started from my brother sending me that 10 Dalasi, we've now got an electronic footprint where we can follow it for the entirety. At the moment, I could give someone $10 cash. Someone can go and buy themselves a little coffee. Someone can go and buy themselves some fried bread. We don't know where it goes. It can go from Banjul to Senegambia to Lagos. There's no way of tracking it. But it can come back round again to Gambia. Someone's got it in their pocket, they took it on a flight, and it comes back round. We can't, there's no way of tracing it. But this is where the beauty of the blockchain is, because we can trace it. And some people think, oh, well, that's not really a good thing because then someone can see everything I'm doing. Well, if you're doing something that's unethical, then yes, we can. But if you've got no reason to be doing anything that's unethical, then this is the space you want to be in, because it allows a lot of growth, it allows a lot of creativity, and it allows us to be the owners and the people that control our economy, our currencies, our businesses, a lot more control. And it's an untapped area. And I won't go into too much detail into the blocks, because I was putting this together and I thought to myself, there's smart contracts, different chain, financial services. The key thing we have to remember is that this isn't controlled by any financial services. It's controlled and developed by individuals. It can be controlled by entities, but ultimately they are controlling it on a decentralized ledger. A ledger, like I said before, that is fully transparent, that is controlled by not one individual, but multiple individuals. Just wanted to check if everyone can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we can. Go
Cool.
ahead.
And at any stage, please put questions in the chat. We're going to have a segment to go through some Q&A.
Okay, so I'll allow you to do the presentation, then I'll get Joseph to also come in to just briefly talk about
no problem at all.
trading, then we can take Q&A. Go ahead.
And as I was saying, in the blockchain, it's transactions that are fully auditable. So anyone can go on and audit a transaction that's been completed. If you go back to transaction my brother sent me, I go and spend it in Senegambia. That transaction is then sent over to the merchant, who then spends it on something else to buy some stock. We can track it for its entirety. And when you develop that smart contract, you can put many parameters in place so you can see where and how it's been used. Yes, it does allow an element of control and data capture, but then it goes back down to the individual. If you have no reasons to not want to use it for anything ethical, then you're fine. It allows our government to be able to create services that will be able to benefit us, because they see what we're currently consuming, what we're spending our money on, what people are trying to develop, what people are gravitating towards. So it allows a lot of benefits, that the fact that it's decentralized. And like I said, it's not as complicated as people see. Creating a smart contract can be something that can be done efficiently, because there's many smart contracts out there that have been created that carry out specific tasks that you can just onboard on top of and use that smart contract. I don't know, for example, Mercedes develop cars, and they've got a process for developing that car. You copy Mercedes's process and develop your own car and call it whatever you want. So the blockchain isn't any different. We're putting real world use cases and scenarios and events onto a platform that allows us to be as creative as we want. There's literally no limit whatsoever. I've really covered on this and how it can benefit Africa. For me, the main thing is that we can trace, and it's fully transparent. And there's different areas on how it can help us to grow, reduce fraud, which is key, reduce corruption, and it can bring lots of people into a space who never currently had a space. People that don't have banks. We know the hurdles it is to just get a bank account, or even to get a mobile phone, the amount of ID you have to provide. You don't, in the blockchain, they don't need to know who you are. You can be faceless, you can be nameless. As long as you've got internet network, you can create an account with an email address, and welcome to the Internet of Things. You're now in the blockchain. There's no need for you to supply proof of your passport, your address, passport, driving license. A lot of people don't have some of these ID things, and then it stops them from being able to get banks, from being able to get loans, from being able to get mortgages, from being able to open up businesses, because they don't fit the criteria of the current financial setup. The blockchain doesn't have any restrictions on individuals. There's no judgment. There's no criteria. The criteria is very simple. Just all you need is the internet. And if you want to go down a route where you want to be centralized, where you want to provide your ID as you would do with your bank, you can go down that route as well. There's no restrictions. You decide on how you want to use the blockchain and how you want to get involved in crypto. And it's an opportunity for the government to use it for many things. I've purchased land in Gunjur, and the process, and I'm sure many people who've been through process of purchasing land or purchasing property, was very long-winded, very labor intensive, a lot of papers, a lot of visits, a lot of checks. It was exhausting but worth it. And on the blockchain, and then I've got papers here. I've got my documents, I've got my hand papers, and if it was done on the blockchain, I know it would have been done a lot quicker. It could have been, I wouldn't have to have done as many visits to government buildings. I could have checked to see who the previous landowners were. I could have checked who the alcalde was. I could have had all of that information is centralized. I could have, and I wouldn't have the issue to worry about if my land's been sold on to somebody else and it's sold on and sold on and sold on to me. The blockchain solves so many issues. And this is why I'm so passionate, because I know in Gambia, the minds in Gambia, especially the younger minds, that haven't been in institutionalizing systems, will be coming up with innovative ideas to change many services that we do already. It can be anything from buying a bottle of water to no limit to what you can do on the blockchain. And I'll use the land scenario because you can lose your paperwork. You don't know who the alcalde is, but because you can access everything on the blockchain and everything is available for anyone to view at any time, someone from Singapore can view details of the land and the registration and who's current owner or who it's been sold onto and sold from previously for free. It's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. We can look at areas of how we can bring investment in. I'll touch very quickly on NFT and how we can bring investment and grow the economy. At the moment, some people have to be accredited investor. Accredited investor, you have to show that you're capable of managing your money, to be able to pitch or try and provide a pitch deck to try and get investment to do a project. You want to get involved with the road construction that's going on from the airport right through Senegambia, Bigelow. You want to get involved in that. You want to raise some capital, but you know the project, you know how things can be done, you've got the material, but because you don't fit the criteria, you can't raise enough capital to get machinery or to get a team or to get boots or to get tool, anything you need. But if you could pitch your idea to the whole world and you only needed to raise, let's say, $1 million, and everybody was going to be putting in $100, and you've got 1 million people, you can raise 10 times what you actually wanted, because now you've got the ears and eyes of the whole world. And this is what the internet allows. This is what the blockchain allows. There's no restrictions. You don't have to show a portfolio of all of the things. You could just come up with a simple idea, say, guys, I'm a trustworthy person. This is me. This is who I am. I'm going to do this project and I'll give everybody a return on this project. And that can be done with land. That can be done with construction. That can be done with anything. You can build a mall. You can build a football ground. You can build anything. There's no restrictions. And this is the way we have to think and how we be able to tap into trillions of US dollars that's available, flowing around from usually the same people who have got the money, who've got the infrastructure in place already. We need to tap into that and start coming together as a collective to be able to achieve these and start driving money back into Gambia or into Africa, or wherever your interest is. So I'll move along. So one of the key things is with the adoption of crypto in Africa, a lot of people will use existing models to build on top of the decentralized model of the blockchain, which is fine. But then it then lacks the what's the word I'm looking for? It lacks opportunity for people who were able to get into the traditional financial sector on the decentralized sector. That's probably my only areas of concern. But like I said, it doesn't restrict us from getting into different areas or different institutions. There's many people that do not want to have any trace of themselves on the blockchain or in the traditional finance, and they can use a blockchain to do that. There's different types of technology being developed on a daily basis, being tested, being rolled out for different sectors. And it's important that we're adopting blockchain across the continent for these sectors. And sector can be anything from, like I said, healthcare, land registry, property, agriculture. And these are the sort of conversations that we can have on how we can raise awareness, who's doing what, do we need to work who do we need to work together with, what steps are we at, what rules and regulations do we need to put in place to safeguard ourselves as well from bad actors. So there's a lot. We've really talked about the use case for crypto. The remittance area is a very, very, very big area. We know the cost of sending money back and forth from Africa, from home, and receiving it. This can be done at a fraction of the price. I've complete transactions myself, sending money from Gambia to the UK to Tanzania. Sending $1,000 cost me $1, and it was sent in a fraction of seconds, literally seconds. We've done transactions online in the community, and it's cost less than 50 cents to send hundreds of dollars. And this is where Africans have definitely grasped an area of opportunity that we don't necessarily have to go through the centralized banks to move our money, because we can do the same amount of money. We can move much quicker. And when I say seconds, literally, you can see a transaction will be complete in seconds. Maximum I've had to wait is 5 minutes for any transaction, because there was a lot of people completing transactions on a specific network. But the potential is endless. And this is just one area. Digital ID, how we can, let me give you an example. So for example, let's say this is a project Cardano was looking at with, I believe it was the Ethiopian, maybe not the Ethiopian government, don't quote me on this. We go through school, our records of our education, we go to higher education, we have all of our records. If your records followed you from the moment you started primary, secondary school, and followed you for the entirety of your studies globally, you might have went and studied abroad. So you've got this one single ID that tracks all of your records, can't be changed, can't be edited. Once it's been added onto the blockchain, it's there fixed. You now need to present your qualification and records abroad. Instead of you being able to get hold of your university, your lecturer's resigned or he's retired, you've got all of your data centralized. You just have to share it with your potential employer or education institute. And the same can be done with your ID. We have centralized ID. Obviously, some people, I've seen areas where they're not really too keen on it, but there's opportunities for how it can benefit us. And these are the sort of ideas that we need to be looking at and thinking about on how we can get involved in it. And the key thing is, well, there's nothing that you're not currently doing that can't be transferred onto the blockchain. A lot of people have to fear that the blockchain or crypto is going to replace them, or AI, no. All of your skills are transferable onto the blockchain. You just have to educate yourself in the area that you want to get involved in and how you can get involved. I'll move along. So yeah, as we said, it's a digital space. that I've been heavily involved in, and I continue to be involved in. My passion is to try and create an opportunity where we create something that allows us to have passive income from crypto. We have so many services and so many, we trade in different areas in agriculture, which is one of the areas of my passion. Is if we had someone that can trace a mango or cashew from a different region that has been exported to China, which is the technology is already in place. It's just a case of how do we adopt some of the technology, or how do we create new technology that can benefit Gambia, that people can adopt, that we are the owners of. There's no need to start getting a pat on. You are the owners. You've got the digital IT is linked to your idea. So how do we get involved in that? How do we educate people that need to onboard into crypto safely, so they don't go rushing for an opportunity that says that you're going to make $1 million in the space of 1 month? It's impossible. It's not impossible, it's possible, but we've got to be realistic, and we've got to understand that we need to be involved in this for long term. This isn't something that you want to get involved in and it's going to be a quick win and you're out. No, this is something that's going to allow you to create generational wealth, and it's going to allow you to be educated in an area that is very, a lot of people tell you, oh, this is crypto, this is blockchain, this is what you do. They're still learning. I'm still learning. Every single day I learn something new. When I put on a trade, I learn something new. When I see Bitcoin do this, I learn something new. Someone comes out with a new idea. There's nothing that can't be done that hasn't really been done. You come up with the idea and you execute. Get the right education, get the right support, have the conversation, ask the questions. The main thing, ask the questions. Ask the questions to the people that have been involved in crypto for a long time. I've been scammed. I've lost money. I've done a transaction that went to, I don't even know what network, and I can't get it. I can see my money still there. That's the beauty of crypto. You can see, you can trace it. I can see my money still there. I can't do anything with it because I've sent it somewhere that no one has access to. So these are the things that should make you think, hold on, this opens up a whole new world, and it breaks down a lot of barriers. A lot of barriers will be broken down. A lot of opportunities will be developed. It's just a case of coming together and working together and working with people that have already started. Let's grow someone that's already started. We've got a platform that's been created, that's been going for several months, years. Let's grow that. Let's educate people. This is the central point for Gambia. This is the hub for Gambians who want to get involved in crypto. Our brother has started something and he's developing it, and it's constantly growing. We're constantly having different meetings and conversations on how to get people involved, how do we safeguard people. We just got to continue having a conversation and then adopt the right approach to bring people together. So I've been going on a bit now. I'll finish off. As you know, my name is Isaac. So catch me on Twitter, catch me on Instagram. Those are the tags. Reach out, share what I'm doing in different parts of Africa, doing some work in Rwanda, working with the Rwanda High Commission, bringing more people from Rwanda and for more people from the UK to develop in Rwanda. I'm working with a group of people in Gambia. We're looking at property, we're looking at land, we're looking at construction, road development. And one of the other areas of my main passion is agriculture. That's my biggest passion, is agriculture. Because I know Africa will be feeding the world. If I can bring that onto the blockchain, I can make my people money, I'll be very, very happy, man. Thank you, everyone. Brother, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Isaac. As I said earlier, this is going to be an exciting webinar where people will learn a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about cryptocurrencies and digital assets, and also learn a lot about Forex trading. Next on, I'll call on my second presenter, who is Joseph Laye. Joseph is also a good friend. I've met Joseph on the internet. We've chatted for a while, and I've seen he does an amazing stuff. He actually tutors people in Gambia. He actually offers Forex trading training, and a lot of Gambians are actually benefiting from that. Joseph, just feel free, put up your mic and your video and say hi to the people and tell us more about yourself and what you do, and give us some insight as to what Forex trading is. Thank you.
Okay. How are you all doing? Hello?
Good, we can hear you. Let me add you to the pin. Okay. One sec. Okay. Okay. Looks like you're on 2 devices, Joseph, right?
Yeah,
Okay, the voice is a bit low.
I hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I guess I can share my screen.
Yes, you can.
So, just a quick one. First of all, I want to appreciate my friend here, who has done a great job to bring some light, especially. I'm Gambian, and I must say that
I'm sorry,
when it comes
Joseph.
to
Maybe you can mute the other device. I can hear some interference. Try.
Okay, let me.
Yes, please.
Okay. I get it.
Yes, now it's better. Go ahead. Thank you.
So, literally, what I was saying was, we change the world, and I always like to address the fact as it is. I would say Gambia is a little bit behind when you look at what's happening across the world and Africa to the side. And that is the reason why I feel that as young Gambians, and if you have young Gambians on this platform, I think directly to you. It is high time we make effort to do as much as we can to get informed and educated about what is happening within the digital space. Because this thing we call digital is here to stay. That's the honest truth. It's here to stay. It's not going. It's going to stay. So if you're aspiring to have a place within the digital space, you can't avoid being inclined what is happening currently within the digital space. And that is why I feel that it is a necessity that as Gambians we invest time, effort, money in acquiring digital knowledge. And as I said, Malik has been doing a great job. I met him online, and since then, I mean, we've been in touch, and he's been doing an incredible job to bring awareness, especially to Gambia and Gambians, young Gambians at large. So without wasting much time, I'd just like to dive into some of the few things I want us to look at that has to do with trading. Okay. My friend Isaac has said a lot. I would say he has literally broken down everything without even letting me know. So I will just touch around the surface of certain things that I want us to look at. Now, Forex trading is another aspect of trading. Okay, within the digital space, we have so many things that we can learn. Okay, now I in general I started my trading journey in early 2016. Okay, but I was completely lost. When I say lost, I didn't know what to do, where to start, or how to go about things. So it was a little bit challenging for me. Challenging in the sense that I could not find any material, I could not find any persons, and I mean, it was not dawned on me to go online and make that research and know actually what trading is all about. But I kept getting on people that were giving me good reviews about it, and that played a lot on my determination to really do more and exploit the trading environment. So most of the findings I did was online. I went online, tried to look at one or two things, and before you know it, I was able to, really find myself to a point where I could navigate between the digital space and decide what I could learn and how I could profit from it. And before you know it, I get exposure. I was within communities and I was learning from them on them. But most of the research I was doing was online, on YouTube, especially. I was doing a lot of research on YouTube. And it got to a point I realized, you know what, I really want to do this. I really want to do this full time. And at that point, I realized that, okay, if I want to go full time, then I need to invest more of my time. I need to make more research. I need to find a community that I can grow myself. Because one thing about trading or anything that has to do within the digital space is that you need to find yourself around a community that is like-minded. That is one of the ways you will grow within the digital space. If you are outside the community, you will literally struggle. And sometimes some of this information you need, these materials, will be free-handedly given onto you because of where you find yourself, the environment you are associated with. So one of the things that I would say that is profound is that you can't desire to be within the trading space and you are not associated within a trading or a digital community. You can't. You need to find yourself within a community that is like-minded. And that is one of the ways you can really broaden your understanding and your knowledge within the shortest period of time or within a certain aspect within the space that you want to get understanding. So for me, for trading was the key. Like I came to a point I realized, okay, I did a lot of research across West Africa. But one thing I would say is that when it comes to anything internet digital, especially in Africa, to be precise in Gambia, it's always associated to scam. I believe some of you would agree with me on this, right? It's always associated to scam. And the reason why we have this kind of mindset is simply because, you understand, we are not exposed. That's the honest truth. And you see, fear is not anything but the lack of knowledge. You are afraid of something because you are not knowledgeable in it. People have HIV and AIDS and they're not afraid. And they're not dying. They're living even a better life than people that are healthy. But there's some people that have the virus and they are dying instantly because of what? They lack information about what that virus is all about. They don't understand the basic concept of it. And out of fear, they die. Some of them don't even actually die because of the virus. They die because of fear. So generally, if you are not equipped, well informed about something, it's like death to you. You become afraid of it. And this is one thing I want Gambians to embrace. We need to embrace the digital world. We need to invest into the digital world. Because if we don't, we will be left behind. And out of here, we will lose most of the precious things that we should take possession of. And until we come to that understanding, we will not now. I'm sorry that I'm not going into details about, okay, what we are actually all about. But for me, trading has taught me so many things. I'm going to tell you, the moment you dive into the digital space, your personality will change, your mindset will change, okay? Your view about life, people, your environment, it's going to change. Trading is a university of its own. I call it a place of self-discovery, okay? The reason why I am saying this is because my experience in trading has taught me so many things about myself that I don't even know. I never knew about myself. I'll elaborate more on that as we go further. But the reason why I'm emphasizing on these basic things is because the first place you succeed in is in your mind. You need to first have a mindset. Without a mindset, you can't break out of any barrier, okay? You need to be first free in your mind. Success first starts in the mind. If you are not free in your mind, in your thinking, in your ideology, you are imprisoned for life. It doesn't matter how much you achieve physically. It doesn't matter how much you achieve physically. You are going nowhere. Because at the end of the day, your mindset is still limited to the things you know, to the challenges you know. So for us to first break out of this, we need to first have a mindset that is open to what the digital space has to offer. Until and then, we can't do much. And the honest truth is that a time is going to come where if you are excluded in the digital space, you don't have a place on planet Earth. You are going to be a secondary human being. When I say a secondary human being, when technical people are talking, you need to wait till they conclude and decide what position they have to give you. So what we need to do at this point in time, I think Gambia, regardless of where we stand, I think Gambia is still young in everything. Equally, Gambia is still young in agriculture. Gambia is still young in infrastructure. Gambia is still young in technology. The reason why I'm saying this is because we don't have any investors running into this country like they are running into other countries. So this land has so many things to discover, and we would be in the best position to be partakers of this discovery if we engage ourselves now. So the concept is now, okay? Regardless of what you know or how challenging it can seem to be, I'm telling you, if you start the operating journey now, you will see the difference. You will see the difference. I think there's some that's that has his mic.
Yeah, it's on mute now. Yeah.
Okay. So please, I want us to really I want us to really have a mindset. I to be honest, I am speaking for Gambians because I'm a Gambian and because I know what it cost me to really acquire this knowledge outside of the boundaries of Gambia and still be within, you know, the surrounding of Gambia itself. It has been challenging, but I would say it's worth it. Okay. Now, in other developing countries, this information and materials are at their disposal. But over here, I mean, it's challenging, but we give thanks and we are grateful for what the internet is doing. The internet has made it possible for everyone and everyone to access information at any point in time. So there is no limit. So you don't have any excuse. You can say, I know there's so many limitations in the Gambia when it comes to education itself, when it comes to exposure itself. But when it comes to having information, the internet has made it possible for us. Now, the thing is, with the internet, you would need to learn how to ask the right questions to get the right answers. That is where the problem comes. So the internet has all the information we need, okay? And most of these informations are free. They are free. If you know how to ask the right questions, you have the right answers. Now look at this presentation I'm about to present. I didn't go to any lecturer at the university. I went online. I used ChatGPT. I already have all these things, but I don't want to stress myself to go about how to put a presentation. The same question, and ChatGPT gave me all the answers I need. Broke it down to the in fact, the first one he gave me wasn't to my satisfaction. I asked it to be more specific on certain areas, and it did it exactly as I want with examples. I didn't have to type. I got all this information in less than 5 minutes. And you won't believe, I didn't have time to even go about it. I did this within the time Isaac was going about his presentation. Just to tell you what the internet can offer you. Okay, so let us not limit ourselves to just what we are seeing. There is more out there, and if we go out to search for it, look, you cannot see what you don't find, and you cannot access or you cannot explore what you don't know. Okay, so there is a roadmap you have to look for to get to the answer to what you're looking for. Okay, now this presentation I will take it as precise, as simple as possible, because now my focus is to know the mindset of the kind of people we are actually having on the platform. And your questions are more relevant right now, more than the presentation, because some of these things we might explain might not really have a bearing with your understanding, but I just need to go over it. Now, what is forex trading? Forex trading is simply foreign exchange. Okay, it's two words put together. For means foreign, ex means exchange. So put it together, forex, so foreign exchange. So forex is exchange of currencies. Need one currency in exchange for another currency. Now, one thing you people have to know, consciously or unconsciously, everybody globally participates in the forex market. Everybody participates in the forex market. Ask me why and how. Because regardless whether you are on the digital space, clicking a button to buy or sell, if you want to travel, let's say to Senegal, you don't go with your dollars. What do? Regardless of how much millions you have in dollars, you will need to change that dollars to SEPA. And that exchange will only happen if you want to travel. And since you want to travel, you can go with Gambian dollars. So you are participating in this market, whether you like it. And the value at which these currencies are valued are the same value at which you buy them. Whether it's expensive, whether it's less, whether it's cheap, you don't have a choice. So look at the digital space as an environment that you don't have a choice. So that when you jump into it, the better for you. So generally, that is what forex is exchange of currencies. And now within the forex market, we have a lot of things to dive into. These are technical factors and fundamental factors. Now, when we say forex, simply establishes the exchange of currencies. We have currency pairs, and we don't trade currencies independently, meaning you don't, for you to have an exchange in one currency. Likewise, in the digital market, we have currency pairs. Currency are traded one currency in exchange for another currency. Okay. Now, we have different types of pairs in the forex market. We have major pairs, we have minor pairs, and we have exotic pairs. Okay. Now, these pairs are determined based on the, I would say, their values. Okay. Now, when we talk about major currencies major pairs are currencies that have the US dollar as a pair. Now, when we say the pair, I don't really want to go into detailed explanation. We have the core currency and we have the base currency. Now, the code is just the first currency. The base is just the first currency, and the code is the opposite currency. Okay, so you are selling this in exchange for that. Okay, so that's just that for now. I don't want to go deep down to that, but one thing I think we get to that. Now, another thing I want to explain within the forex market. Now, the forex market is a very volatile market. When I say very volatile market, there's so much liquidity in the market that you can't measure it. Now, on daily basis, we have up to $6 trillion that flows in the forex market. Now, the forex market across all the digital markets is the biggest, or I would say one of the biggest markets. Okay. Now, within the crypto space, because of this recent development and transition, the crypto has, I think, revolved somewhere between like between 2 to 4 trillion. But the forex market is somewhere about $6 trillion on daily basis. Now, I'm not telling you on monthly basis. I'm not telling you on weekly basis or every quarter. I'm saying on daily basis, like every single day, an amount of $6 trillion is pumped into the forex market. Do the maths within a week. Do the maths within a month. That's a whole lot of money. Okay, and this is why the forex market is a very lucrative environment to invest and profit. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're gonna make money. To be honest, it was not actually made for us to benefit that much money or to make much money itself. It's for the people that had structured this market, and these are the participants in the market. We call them the big players. Now, who are the big players in the forex market? These are financial institutions across the world, Asia, Europe, Africa. We have microfinance institutions, banks. We have financial institutions. We have corporations. Okay, all of these bodies put together. These are the people that drive the market. These are the participants in the market. But you see, because the world is growing now, things are not limited to only one or one person or one individual or a set of people. Things are becoming globalized everywhere now. Okay, everybody is going digital. Now, the forex market at the start, it was not made for retail traders. We could not participate in the market because we don't have what it takes to participate in this market. But with the help of what we call brokers, the brokers are internet experts that have made it possible for you and I to participate in the market. That is where you have brokers. Now, these are people that cannot set up a system that say, okay, you don't have any, but what we can do, we can set up a platform where we give you access to participate in this digital. And that is why for you to be part of the forex market, you have to subscribe to a broker. Now, when it comes to brokers, we have regulated brokers and non-regulated, but that is not. Okay. Once you dive into deeper, you know the need to find who is regulated and who is unregulated. Now, with the brokers, they give us leverage. So you can't, the smallest amount you have, they give you leverage to trade in that market. So you don't need the billions, you don't need the millions to trade in the forex market. With the little as $100, you can now participate in the market. So it is made accessible for everybody. But now, what is the key question is, just because it's accessible doesn't mean you profit from it. You need what? To learn how to participate in the market. Forex is like any other business. You don't jump into any business without having knowledge in it. Just as how you learn to become a doctor, how you learn to become a nurse, how you learn to become a surgeon, how you learn to become a constructor, all of these things you learn them. Is the same way you learn to become profitable in the forex market. So the bottom line and my key focus was in learning. Okay. Now, one of the things I've said, I would say, and I'll bring across as an advice is that people, especially in this part of the world, which is Gambia to be precise. Now, my emphasis is going to be Gambia throughout this meeting. And sorry if you are someone within another side of the world, but don't take it personal. The reason why I am trying to emphasize on this is because I feel that we lack the determination, the exposure, and that is why it is needful for me as a Gambian to emphasize on Gambians. Okay, so don't take it personal. Okay, so going back to what I was saying, I'm really quite lost. Okay, the educational part of it. Education is key. Okay, education is key. You can't evolve without learning. So what I would say is that learn to invest into learning than into earning. Now is the time for you to invest into learning. Okay, not earning. Once you invest into earning, it will switch to learning. Sorry, once you invest into learning, it will switch into earning. And when you get to that point, the sky is your limit. The sky is your limit. So at this point, I mean, I have a lot on my presentation, but I still feel like, I mean, this is not what you guys need to hear at this point. This is not what you guys need to hear.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have more of it in the next webinar where you go detail.
Detail about, yes.
Go ahead. So let's.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, because I wanted to delve into the Q&A, but let me allow you to wrap it up, and then we.
Just in conclusion, for those of you that want to learn, okay, there's a roadmap. The question, I'll let you come up with your question. Myself, I myself am a forex Forex trader. I'm a technical trader, to be precise. And I also have a masterclass program where I teach people how to trade, and training and training I give will help you trade all digital assets, ranging from Forex, crypto, other digital markets like stocks, bonds, synthetic indices, like basically all this, you'll be able to trade them. So that's all for now. So we'll just go to the questions.
Thank you very much, Joseph. That was a very good intro and a good presentation into what Forex trading is. And I like the fact when you mentioned that people should invest more into learning than into earning at the moment. And I think I would agree with you, because when you want to delve into the digital space, you need to understand what you're diving into, right? You can't just go to the ocean and just go deep dive into it. You may be diving into a deep water. And so the best advice I get from both speakers is enhance your education in this field. It's here to stay. Crypto is here to stay. Digital assets are here to stay. Forex trading is here to stay. As long as we're interacting as humans, I have to travel to Nigeria, I have to travel to UK, I have to travel to US, I have to use their currency. I can't take my dollars to US and start spending. They will look at me as a mad person, right? So you need to exchange one currency to another, and that's where Forex trading comes in. Now, this brings us to the segment where we have the Q&A, which is a very exciting one. I was expecting some questions. Let's have questions on the chat. Feel free, you can raise your hand and then I'll call you on the space and you can ask your question. But before that, I have some questions here, which I would ask. I'll start with Isaac, right? So I want you to just give us, the fundamental behind cryptocurrencies and how do they really differ from our traditional fiat currencies, right? So you may have some questions where somebody will tell you, oh, actually the fiat currency, the dollar is actually backed by the full fate of the government, right? But what is backing cryptocurrencies, right? So please, can you, in 1 to 2 minutes, just clarify that for us?
So, one moment, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, so because there's a whole world of different cryptocurrencies, and some are backed by the dollar, pegged to the dollar. We have the USDT, which is basically the largest stable coin. You know, dollar is the largest. It's the world reserve currency, and so it was by design that the USDT, the US dollar tether, is the largest stable coin that people trade against and people like to cash out against. And USDT is basically the equivalent of $1. It's backed for every $1. We have the USDC as well, which is equivalent. But the most used stable coin or most used currency is the US dollar. And like I said, one US dollar is equivalent to one USDT is equivalent to one US dollar. But where it gets more interesting is over the last few years, people have seen that some cryptocurrencies don't have the actual value of what it's backed on. And it can be backed on hype, it can be backed on a commodity, or it could just be backed on a future promise. And that doesn't give it any intrinsic value. If you're backing it against something that currently doesn't have any value, but you're saying it will have value in the future. And that's where crypto can be very complicated and very confusing. Has some sort of value behind it. I'm not going to exchange my iPhone for some corn because I know it doesn't have the same value. But if you have a cryptocurrency coin called the Banjul, and every Banjul coin is backed buy the same equivalent of, let me think, it could be anything. Let's say your project is, well, I'll focus on agriculture. Let's say your project is on cashew nut, and you have a coin, the cashew, and let's say you got 100 grams of a cashew nut bag is 1,000 dalasi, for argument's sake. So your coin is backed for every single bag of cashew. So straight away, your currency has a value. It has a real world case value. And you can create a currency. You can create any currency you want. You can give it any sort of backing. But where your currency has an intrinsic value is where it gets very interesting. Very, very interesting, because now you have brought a real case value into the blockchain. And no one can take that away, because you're trading your cashew on a daily basis. You're selling it in the malls, you're selling it in the hotels, you're selling it on the beach, you're selling it in the Gambia, you're selling it everywhere. So everyone can trade between your currency, knowing that it has an intrinsic value behind it. If they want to cash out into Dalasi, they know that 1,000 of those coins will give them whatever the current market price of it is for that bag of cashew, or that cashew that you're selling on the streets. And it's the same thing that goes in principle with other commodities. There's currencies that are cryptocurrencies that are backed by gold. So the current price of gold, fractionalized, is the same equivalent as one of those coins. And this is where mindset we can get to, because there's no reason why we can't create our own currencies. We have a dalasi, they have the dollar, we have the pound, we have the naira, we have many other currencies. We can create any cryptocurrency we want and give it an intrinsic value. We can give it a world case value, or we can give it something that's future proofed. I'm gonna sell. So go on. Do you have a question?
No. I just saw someone raise their hand. I was just about to call, but go ahead, wrap it up. Let's get that second question.
So where it is, yeah, let's get this question in, and I'll link it in.
Okay. All right. Mundauja, you have your hand up. You can unmute and you can ask your question, and the participant will take it. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
And thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome.
And unfortunately, I came in late, so I missed Mr. Isaac's presentation. But Mr. Joseph, thank you for that wonderful presentation. So from your presentation, you are actually trying to address fear, which I feel, yeah, a lot of us have that fear when we want to get into this space. But then again, I think we cannot divorce it, because for me, I can say the scammer was a blessing in disguise for me, because it was a scammer that introduced me to Binance, and that was how I got to find out about Parmatic, and he's reliable, and allayed a lot of my anxiety. So this is a problem. So that is why the issue of fear is no longer with me, but a lot of people out there, this is their experience, because they tend to come in contact with the scammers. So that is why we really need to work on also presentation that will help us relieve that fear from people that want to come on board. Yeah. And the second thing I want to say is, like, I'm a newbie, and I really want to start from scratch. Since I get into know Parmatic, I didn't have that much time to give it to study the crypto space, and I really know that it needs a lot of time to learn, to be able to integrate in this kind of thing. Because I've tried, I'm a nurse, and this is a total different field for me. But over the years, I've tried passive income through some of the products that were introduced in the Gambia and the like, but those ones are not successful. But from meeting you guys, from the time that I've already met you and the presentations you have shared, especially Mr. Isaac, I've learned a lot, and I'm willing to give it time now to learn more so that I can know and understand what is in this space. So I will need your guidance and your teaching so that at least I'll be now comfortable in this space. Yeah. Thank you so much. That is what I wanted to share with you people.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you very
excellent.
much. Thank you very much, Mundo. Isaac, you want to make a comment before Joseph make a comment on that? I think Joseph actually
No,
touched on this when he was emphasizing on the education bit, because Mundo just talked about, her experience being scammed in this digital space, because maybe one of it was lack of understanding of how it works. So the scammer took advantage of that and, walk away with her money. And this crypto, it does not, this digital space is not just for technical people, right? You can be a nurse, you can be a farmer, you can be in any walk of life, and you can be fully participating in this digital space, and it can change the way you do things. Go ahead, Isaac.
no, I was just going to congratulate sister on her comments and feedback, because like everyone else, people, we get attracted to making potential quick wins. All of the losses that I've made, money that I've lost or that have been scammed by different people, I just put it down as that was just my education in crypto. That was my university study money that went into crypto, because I know I won't make that mistake again, and I know I'll be able to help other people save money as well from learning from my mistakes as well. So you've got the right mindset and attitude, and that sort of mindset and attitude is where you're going to be extremely successful and financially and spiritually. And it's important that we all constantly learn from each other and ask questions. Don't try and be a gatekeeper of an opportunity, because you think you're gatekeeping an opportunity, you end up losing out. So yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to add with that, is that the mindset, the attitude, fantastic.
Great. Joseph, maybe before you add onto this, I would just chip in a question. Maybe you can actually take it together. So, like most of the people here said, they are actually newbies and they want to know how to get started. Now, based on your experience as a newbie, what will you advise that person, and what are some of the platforms that they can look at to get started into, let's say, Forex trading or crypto trading? Thanks.
Now, I'll answer that question just immediately after I also tackle. Is it Mundao, right?
Yes,
right?
yes, no.
Mundao, thank you for your opinion, and that was an excellent one. First of all, I want to say that you see, just as we feel like maths is so complicated, but you see, once you start earning money, you realize that to count your profit and what people are owing you, and how much you need to pay your creditor, and how much your debtors are owing you is not a problem. It would be a good match for you to calculate, right? Regardless whether you studied math.
So Joseph, your line is breaking a bit. Maybe there's another device on, maybe a TV or something. You can turn it down and speak close to, if you're using a microphone, just speak close to it so that we can hear you. Yeah. Okay, so I can't hear Joseph. I'm not sure. Is anyone hearing Joseph?